Take 4, because I have the time, evidently. Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the 45th, the number 45 review of the Soda Pop playlist. But before we get to the product in question, I want to make a couple of quick points. 1, as of this moment, the glass is fogged. 2, I would like to take the time to thank those of you that are yourselves taking the time to watch the monetized content. I have found out recently that it is extremely helpful, very helpful, not so much for the sourcing and buying of the monetized content products, but of the tobacco content. It is greatly benefiting from the monetization. Anyway, we will be taking a look at this guy. This is Bubble Up. I am expecting a Sprite-like, possibly 7-Up-like product, but we're going to take it over the desk to look at the packaging a little more closely. Back in a moment. Okay, and we are back. So what we're looking at here is a 12 fluid ounce bottle in clear glass. No, I'm sorry, that is green glass. I don't know where I just got clear from. The stickers are clear, and there are a number of them. There's one on the front here. There is one on the back. And there is one up top on the neck. And they're hard to ascertain where they start and end. You actually have to feel for it. I'm actually seeing it better on the computer monitor right now than I do in person. So, down at the bottom here, it is saying a crisp and refreshing lime soda, served well chilled, caffeine-free as I expected. On the back. So they are going with a nutritional fact in an upper box, I call them, instead of your common down, up, down, lengthwise format. You want to look, if you are, number one, if you're diabetic, you probably shouldn't be drinking anything like this. And I say that because I know for a fact that the total carb count for this 12-ounce bottle is a full carb count, possibly plus, on for a full meal for my father, who is diabetic. Ingredients are pretty straightforward. You got the recycling and the barcode, and then you have the manufacturer's information. Now, this is being produced under the authority of, rather, Dad's Root Beer Company, which basically is a it's basically probably a cubicle in some office space somewhere, because Dad's Root Beer doesn't even do its own manufacturing. They're all manufactured by this down here, which is orcabeverage.com. All right? So Bubble Up somehow ended up in the position where it fell under Dad's, and Dad's doesn't even make its own stuff. So they all fall under Orca Beverage, which is out of Mucklito, Washington. So you got 2 websites you can check this out for, dadsrootbeer.com or orcabeverage.com. All right? This is a very old product, but I do not know the history of it. If you know it and you are familiar, you may want to leave it in the comments section, the abbreviated story. So I do know that it is old. I believe it definitely predates Sprite. I believe it also predates 7-Up. It'll be interesting to see which one of those two it is closer to. And yes, there is a difference between Sprite and 7-Up. That is the cap, which I am hoping is Twist Off, but we will find out soon enough. There are some laser printed dates on this, and if I can bring that back around to where they are, there's one right there. I don't know if you can see it because the bottle's sweating pretty good now. And I could have sworn there was one up top, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not seeing anything now. It is a pop. It has been refrigerator kept. I am not overly worried about this. So we're going to take it back up top and see what I think. And we are back. If I seem a little bit off tonight, I am sorry. Right before I started recording this, I realized that the update from Windows that I went through for the last 2 nights has changed the complete layout of my camera setup here. And that's why I'm like, what the heck is going on? Anyway, let's see if it's twist off. And it is. And the glass is still a little bit fogged. Okay, it's smelling like, to me, it's smelling like 7-Up. All right, now I say that, not that Sprite and 7-Up really have a difference in smell, but the lemon lime in 7-Up I find to be stronger, the smell of it. So we will see. Okay, it is crystal clear. As you can tell, you can actually see my glasses through it. There is a good amount of carbonation. I was also expecting that. There is a strong lemon lime smell. Now, lemon to me personally, lemon is in so much stuff, like lemon flavors, and basically through everything, whether you're going food product or beverage or whatnot. Lemon doesn't register as much to me. Lime, however, does. And that's the big difference, I think, between 7-Up and Sprite. I think for whatever reason, whether they use more or if it's just my personal thought or feeling on it, is that 7-Up seems to register with the lime more. So, that all said, well, that's sort of interesting. It's good, okay? Now, as you all know, I have a bit of a caffeine habit, and I go to a particular soda for that. This has no caffeine, so that doesn't really jive with me. That said, this stuff is crisp, and it is refreshing just as the bottle says it is. It's very, sort of like Sprite and 7-Up. It's very clean, non-syrupy. There's flavor. I'm a little surprised. It's not really flavor-wise, either of them. The lemon is coming across a lot more than I thought it would be. The lime's there, but it's less descriptive than I thought it would be. Sprite to me is very lemon-lime neutral, and 7-Up I just think is a more flavorful product. This product has a lot of flavor, but not quite in the same way as the 7-Up product. So it's sort of unique in that way. It's very close to 2 different mainline products, but it's not quite either. And that is sort of, for the product, is sort of good in itself. Now I'm getting a little more lime coming through. See, I'm holding this stuff in my mouth, though. Normally, I wouldn't drink soda in this way. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more lime coming through now that I've had basically half the bottle. I'm going to try it off the bottle. I've gotten away from that the last few reviews. I did not mean to. It was an oversight on my part. Yeah, I think it's a little bit closer to the 7-Up, where it has a lot of flavor, but it doesn't exactly line up. Not as close as I thought it would, anyway. Sprite, and I'm not, boo-hooing Sprite by any means. 7-Up, Sprite, I don't drink either of them on a regular basis. nearly at all, actually. Sprite has just always seemed to me like a little bit too much carbonation, like they overdid it, and the carbonation I think detracts from the flavor of it and makes me register as not, sort of neutral. Really bubbly water with something else going on type deal. So this has plenty of flavor. The carbonation is not to the point of the Sprite, and I believe Sprite is a Coca-Cola product, so them having higher carbonation would make sense. This stuff, I will look into it. I am planning on doing like product histories at some point. This was one of the ones that I had sort of thought of when I was thinking of that. So I'll look into it to see how old this actually is. They are not actually advertising anything. A lot of these sodas that are supposedly been around forever, they, have since whatever. And I thought this was going to have it. I just pulled this out to put in the fridge earlier today and noticed that it didn't. So I'll be interested to find out. This has been my review of Bubble Up. It is a crisp and refreshing lemon lime soda that is not false advertising, and I would say you should, as they say on the bottle, serve well chilled. It's good. It's good. Not quite my thing, but it's actually been sort of refreshing as a change. And for that, it gets a thumbs up from me. Anyway, I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.